Hi, CMattDye here. Thanks for stopping by and checking out today's video. And today I want to talk about three main ways that you can profit in a bear market. Now, there's going to be another way that I'm going to talk about at the end of the video, but let's start off with what I am talking about. So, number one is leverage flipping. That is my number one way of creating an income during a bear market, which we're in right now. Next, we have lending, and then we have DeFi. So let's get into what I actually mean by this. So, leverage flipping. What is leverage flipping? Maybe you know what flipping is. Maybe you're not too familiar with leverage flipping. Now, I'm coming from the traditional finance world. I've been involved in that since 1998. Became successful around 2005. Started, progressing from there. But that's where all my knowledge is coming from. So leverage is a term that I'm very comfortable with, and I'm very comfortable with having leverage. Now, flipping, obviously, when you see a good mint, you mint it and then automatically list it on the secondary market. That's what a flip is. And leverage flipping is basically combining a couple things to be able to flip more often. So, what do you need in leverage flipping? Well, first, you need at least one blue chip NFT. Blue chip is a very subjective term. So, I'm going to say one valuable NFT. And yes, I write like a first grader. I know this. This is totally fine. As long as you understand the concept, that's what matters most. Is if you can understand this concept I'm trying to relate to you, that's what matters. So as long as you own one valuable NFT, so depending on how much ADA you have, how can you implement this? So you can get a clay for 3100 ADA. They're very good project in my opinion. But a valuable NFT is an NFT that is worth enough today, but it also is something that you feel that's going to be strong in the future. It's going to be here 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 years from now. Something that you feel is very strong. So, that can be, anything, but it has to be valuable NFT. So Clay Nation, Ball Scout Rocket Club, right now Chilled Kongs is good. Uh, Ape Nation or the Ape Society is good right now. Ori Mob's good right now. You have a lot of quality NFTs at the moment. So pick one. Probably you like the team, you like the vision, you like what they're doing, and then you enjoy the community. That's really what NFTs are about. So one valuable NFT. So if you don't have 3,100 ADA to get a Clay Nation, maybe you have 1,000 ADA to get a Clay Nation Good Charlotte. Maybe you have, I think Balls Cat Rocket Club. The floor is going for around 700-800 right now, I believe. And this video is going to be dated because 6 months to a year from now, these prices are going to be different, especially when the bull market gets here. And that's my speculation. So do your own speculation. What NFT right now is valuable and you think is going to be good, go ahead and grab it. And then once you get that one valuable NFT, wait until you see some mints coming up, maybe a week or two prior to the mint. You go to a lending platform like Lending Pond, for example, and you list the NFT and you want to borrow against it. Let's say it's worth 1,000 ADA, right? So you're like, well, I need 400 ADA to be able to mint these two NFTs. So if I lend it for 600 ADA, it's worth 1,000. Someone's going to snap that up very quickly. I'm going to get my 400 ADA. I can flip it, and then I can either pay back that loan, or I can, let's say, hypothetically speaking, there's another mint a week from then. You can mint that, flip it, and then get your NFT back. And that is what I mean by leverage flipping. So once you get your valuable NFT, you borrow against it. Okay. You borrow against it, and then you go flip. And then you pay back the loan. And my O kind of looks like a U, so let me fix that. All right, so you have one valuable NFT, then you borrow against it, then you start flipping, and then you pay back your loan. And theoretically, you have more ADA when you're finished with that. Now, if you continue with this process, eventually it'll either, you can look at it like it'll pay down whatever that NFT cost you. So maybe the NFT have cost you zero at that point, or maybe the NFT is free and you have extra ADA. So you can look at it that way, or you can look at it like, well, I have my one valuable NFT. I believe that's going to be strong. And then you're flipping, and then you use that flipping money to get another valuable NFT. Same collection, different collection. That's your choice. And then you can use this strategy to really start growing your ADA. So this is the number one strategy that I would recommend for making profits in a bear market. And not every flip's going to be good. You have to be able to pick and choose what flips you believe are going to be good. So that is one thing you really have to look into. And then also, you don't want to over leverage yourself. So if a project is, let's say it's worth 1,000 ADA, someone's going to loan you 900 ADA for it, which usually doesn't happen unless it's a bull market. So bear market, I wouldn't think that someone will loan 90% loan to value on that. And if you're unfamiliar with loan to value, it's basically the value of what the NFT is to the loan amount. So let's say the value is 1,000, you're asking for 700 on it. That's 70% loan to value. And that's what a lot of lenders look at. Like if you've ever gotten a mortgage before, you're probably familiar with that term. If you haven't, then maybe you're not. And maybe even if you have, you're not that familiar, because your mortgage broker, it's not their job to explain concepts to you. It's their job to get the loan done. So that is leverage flipping, and that is my number one strategy. Number two is lending. You can lend again. You can lend for NFTs or tokens. The or doesn't really look like an or. All right. So you can lend against NFTs. So you can use Lending Pawn again, for example. I use them because I just really like the guys who are behind it, and all the volume is over at Lending Pawn. So there's a couple other lending platforms out. I've used them. I'm not a fan. I always use Lending Pawn, but use what you like. Don't go off of what I'm saying as gospel. Do your own research and have your own speculation. But I'm just trying to give you some tips here. So you can lend against NFTs. You can say, okay, this guy has a Clay Nation that's worth 3,200, and I want to loan 2,500 for it. Something like that. So you can always do that, and that can generate some income in a bear market. Or you can loan your tokens. A platform I really like is A8 of Finance, or you can use the Indigo platform is good. You can loan your Cardano. So those are two platforms that I like if you're loaning tokens. With A8, what I like about them is you can loan, like let's say you have Clay token and you want to loan it and you just want ADA. So you say, okay, I have this Clay token right here. This is my collateral, but I want to get some ADA for that. And then you get that, you can play with it, and then you just, you know, pay the loan back at the end of it. So these are two pretty good strategies. You just want to be careful not to over leverage yourself. So if you have several NFTs that you're borrowing against, and then you're borrowing against your tokens, write stuff down. I have a whiteboard and I write everything down, just because it keeps it forefront in my mind. My mind's always moving and I'm coming up with different things. I'm working on an NFT project right now. So writing stuff down keeps me on track. And I've done that for actually a very long time. I've written stuff down. I have a basically a to-do list that syncs with my calendar on my phone. And then I have a whiteboard in my office. So I have both of those that kind of keep me on track. So that's probably a good tip as well. And then you have DeFi. Now, DeFi, you can do really well with it and you can really get hurt with it. So DeFi, it really just depends on what you're doing. So let's use the Clay token, for example. And I'm going to use the metaphor of a teeter-totter. I'm sure everybody has used a teeter-totter. One person gets on one end, another person gets on the other end, and it just goes up and down. Um, so that's the concept I'm going to use. So if, let's say, Clay and ADA are both worth 1-to-1. So one Clay equals one ADA, one ADA equals one Clay. Obviously, that's not the case, but for simplicity's sake, that's what we're going to go with. And you put in 100 Clay and you put in 100 ADA. And let's say ADA is worth a little bit more. So ADA goes up in value. So the ADA becomes heavier because there's more ADA, right? So what does that do for the teeter-totter? Because ADA is now worth more, ADA is heavier, it pushes the teeter-totter down, and therefore, what does that mean? You get more Clay because ADA is worth more. Let's say, the Clay token goes down. Okay, that's what I'm looking for there. Clay token goes down, which means ADA is more valuable. If Clay becomes more valuable, it becomes heavier and the teeter-totter goes like this. So you get more ADA. And that's how it works. That's what people mean by impermanent loss. If whenever one token becomes more valuable, the other token has to get bought up because it always has to be a one-to-one relationship. So when we started, 100 Clay and 100 ADA equaled, but then the value fluctuates and the value always has to be 1-for-1. So whatever token needs to be bought gets bought and the other one gets sold. So that's what impermanent loss is. So DeFi, in my opinion, is all about timing. You want to know what's going on. You want to know catalyst events, because if you're in a 60 million pool, 60 million value pool, and people start withdrawing and all of a sudden it's 20 million, you're going to get hurt a little bit with what you have in it. But if you have a 20 million pool and it goes to 60 million, people just dropping new liquidity into the pool, it's going to be worth more. So that's one thing that you want to be cognizant of. And, when I say worth more, worth less, those are speaking in generalities. It's not 100% thing. But, uh, as far as the impermanent loss and the teeter-totter, that is what it is. That's how it's going to work. But with DeFi, I see it that it's about timing. Are they going to increase the rewards to that particular stake pool? Maybe other people are going to come in and start staking to it. It would be a good idea to actually be a part of that. So those are three ways that I can see that you can make money in a bear market. Now, the fourth way is a project that I'm coming out with, and basically it's like a hold to earn model. And we're going to pay out in ADA. We're not having our own token, and we're not doing that. And that is going to become the fourth way. I believe that the new direction for NFTs is going to be like real life type stuff. Like there's a NFT out that's been out for a while that gives you discounts to different hotels. There's NFT talking about, we can, help loan against real estate, stuff like that. So the thing I'm working on, we're building multiple streams of income. And I think that's going to be another uh, trend into the NFT space. And also, like I said, I've been in finance for the past a little over 20 years. I've been successful at it for 16 or slightly over 16. And we're going to do that as well. So we're going to trade, we're going to build multiple streams of income, and together we're going to grow. We're going to pay out an ADA as a hold to earn, and then we're going to have a couple other revenue models, but that's going to pay everyone regularly. So you have the NFT flipping, the leverage flipping, which I'm a fan of. You have lending, either your NFTs or your tokens. You have your DeFi, and then the hold to earn model that we're doing is, paying out an ADA. I think that's pretty cool. And I do have an overview video down below. It's 22 minutes and 36 seconds, but it really does explain a lot of what we're doing. And we're doing, more than that, more than the overview video, but the overview video gives you a pretty decent overview if you're interested in that. But like I said, I would recommend the leverage flipping. If you have any questions, definitely ask me down below. There's no such thing as a dumb question, just a question that's not asked. So if there's anything on your mind, that's how we learn and grow as people, is by asking questions. And you know, maybe you don't know that much about a topic and someone else does. Like I said, I'm coming from a different world, the traditional finance, coming in to NFTs, and it just all makes sense to me. But if you do have any questions, always ask down below. You can also join the Discord and ask questions in there as well. I always love to answer questions. So with that, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. So thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the crypto markets. Take care.